Hey guys, I hope you're doing pretty good. I know I'm doing pretty good on this Wednesday. Just not too much to do, just doing some chores, laying around, playing some games, taking care of stuff. If I could say one thing that I found that I've been progressively finding that has impacted my life negatively over an extended period of time, I would say that it's arguing with reality. Arguing with reality is probably one of the worst things that somebody could do. It might be in the form of financial situations, it might be in relationships, it might be when it comes to jobs or what's realistic, what's not, what's good for you, what's not, your health. Because it just creates resistance and it just creates more stress. And life's going to be easier or harder depending on the person or the situation, but there's always going to be challenges or things that come up. There's always going to be something that you have to deal with. But if you put up a fight and you resist, say for example, let's say someone loses a job and they respond to losing that job by gambling $4,000 or $5,000 into crypto with the intention of making all that money back. That's just a rash decision. And now you're back 5,000 and you're out of a job. Another situation, it might be where somebody wasn't available for you at a certain time, or somebody made an agreement with you, or to meet you somewhere, to call you at a certain time, to to come through for you in some kind of way, and they don't. And if you fight and argue with them, and you get angry with them, I mean, you're allowed to want people to be prompt. If it's a repeat thing, okay, but if you lash out at life, life's going to lash out at you. You know, whether it was not actually really sitting and thinking about my major, whether it was, trying to make more money than make more than a certain amount of money at a time when it just wasn't realistic, whether it was falling for internet fads or schemes or scams. Those were examples of me arguing with life. Whereas if I had just thought through the major I would take, and I had thought through just simply going to work, you know, daily, weekly, monthly, and if I had just focused on saving my money and accepting social norms and accepting social boundaries and accepting how relationships actually work, not how I think they should work, if I had simply accepted what is real versus what is fake, if I had simply accepted and relaxed, that doesn't change the fact that, maybe at times I was misguided. Maybe that, I didn't fully know what was good for me yet. Maybe other people didn't fully know what was good for me yet. Some people might have been telling me fibs and saying things that made the world sound nicer than it was, and some people might have been a little too harsh sometimes. Yeah, I can agree with that. But as I look back, and I'm 24 now, even at like 17 or 18, you know, I would go back and I would, I'd pick computers as a major, maybe, in community college. I would have saved my money. I would have just kept that job. Didn't need to level up, didn't need to find a new job, didn't need to make a whole lot of money per year. I just needed to keep that job. Save my refunds that I'm getting from school. Maybe join a club, get a good rhythm going, write it down, get a calendar, do what needs to be done. Not fall for stuff, not fall for fads, not argue with reality and argue with what in reality is actually best for me. When you argue against yourself and you argue against reality and you argue against life and yourself and reality will argue with you. And when they argue with you and they fight back with you, you're going to feel victimized, you're going to feel frustrated, and you're going to feel angry. And it's going to feel like life is attacking you, but it's not really attacking you. It's simply responding to the choices that you made. Maybe somebody, it could be gambling, it could be someone does something wrong, it could be anything of that nature. So if I could say anything, it doesn't mean you don't stand up for yourself, doesn't mean you don't leave bad situations, doesn't mean that, it's 100% your fault, because there might be stuff going on that you had no bearing on, that you had no idea, that there was nothing that you could have done. There might have been nothing you could have done. If you got really sick with something, that's not on you. If you really, if you lose a job, that's not necessarily your fault. If somebody robs you or commits a crime against you, that's not really your fault either. But it's what you do next. It might not fully be in your control, but what do you do next? What do you do next? I would say, don't fight, be proactive, practice gratitude, and that's a big one. And just don't fight against life. Don't fight against life. Go with the flow. Do what makes sense. Do what is actually going to help you and not what your ego or your aggression says is going to work for you, because it might not. If you think that you're going to shake your fist at life and you're going to tell it what to do, I've tried that with meme coins, with scams, with stuff I fell for, with getting emotional about the situation, with stubbornly defying what people would tell me, all because I wanted a certain outcome, or I had some entitlement or some frustration or some false understandings of life or myself, or due to anger or some kind of, trauma or whatnot. I just learned that it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. You're far better off, and it might not be perfect. It might not even be good, though your situation will be better. I guess whatever it is, it will be better if you don't fight tooth and nail. Work towards gratitude, acceptance, and if you can't change it, then I say change it. If you can think it through, then I say think it through. Do what you need to do, but don't fight it. I fought it in a lot of ways, and it's responding to me now. In some ways, I guess it's not really bad stuff. It's not like I don't have a measure of stability in my life, because I do. But I'd made bad decisions and had some bad habits and bad reactions and over a long frame of time. And I'm not saying it's all 100% my fault. I'm not saying that there weren't other roles that were played or other situations that happened along the way that were a result of me just not fully knowing better yet, or that were just like not fair, or that were unforeseeable or unforeseen. But at the end of the day, I did still fight with life. And I wish that I had not fought with life, because if you look out into the long term, if you don't fight it, like if you just accept that, hey, you lost your job and you go find another one, you won't lose $2, $3, $4, $5,000 on gambling. You won't. If you accept like, hey, this major is just not good for me, and you get it switched, or you decide that ahead of time, you're not fighting an uphill battle. You're not taking a whole extra semester. You're not dealing with the extra stress. If you take care of things then, they don't pile up. So I guess that's what I wanted to say. Let me know what you think.